in Solar Land, another episode of Solar TV brought to you by Solar Wolf Energy, and today we're going to talk about the benefits of having residential multifamily properties like 2, 3, and 4 units, and why there's a benefit as you're the landlord going solar. We'll do another video later of commercially 5 units and up. And real quick, the reason that is that actually stipulates the mortgage. A residential mortgage will apply up to a unit that has 4 units and below, and 5 units and above is considered by the federal government and the mortgaging agencies as commercial. It's a whole other bracket. So we'll do another video on that later, but today's video is just going to be about residential and multifamily properties and why it's a benefit for the obvious reasons. So we'll dive right in. So obviously the 30% ITC is a benefit, right? So we want to talk about that. So obviously, as you guys know, 30% of the system cost comes back to you. If you don't have that kind of tax liability and you need to take it over several years, that's another advantage. You can, I believe it's up to 4 years, you can take that amount. So if you spend $100,000 on a system, you'll get 30 back. If you don't necessarily have that kind of tax liability, you only take 10,000, you could do 10,000 over 3 years. So that's a benefit. Also, if you're the landlord, I myself actually do this. I'm also a property owner. I'm a landlord. So what I think is a huge benefit is if I can include the rent and have all-inclusive, have an electric water heater, perhaps when I put in electric heat, if I'm going to remodel the whole unit and then fill the roof with panels, then obviously it's advantageous to the tenant because it's an all-inclusive price if everything's included. But also, here in Massachusetts, where I'm located, I can get the SREC credits. So, you know, we've spoken about those before. Those are the solar renewable energy credits, and those are quite nice. Right now they're trading right around $270 a credit. So, I mean, if you do the math, if there's 10 credits, it's $2,700. Those are good for 10 years. So that's a decent amount of passive income that I actually get on the back side for my rental units. So why wouldn't I put solar on my rental properties, right? Because it's a pretty good passive income. It's advantageous, like I said, for the tenant because you're responsible for nothing except cable. They love that too. So also, I mean, realistically, if we can get into a little more, I can get more rent for it, right? Because if I can tell a tenant, well, it's $800 a month for the unit, and then you have to pay all your own utilities, well, you know, they might, I don't know, whatever, but the thought process is if I can get $1,000 for the unit and everything's included, most people will take that, right? So there's that side of it too. Let's see, we have marketing benefits for tenants. This goes with obviously you've seen the statistics in Forbes and everything else. Lately, more millennials now than ever refuse to buy a home. They're happy renting. They're not really tied down to where they're going to stay, so they think they're going to move jobs, whatever, every couple of years. So they're more happy to rent. So because of that, and because they're going to be going forward the largest purchasers, like I said, in a few years, of going solar, today they're looking for rental units that already have solar on it. So as far as attracting great tenants that have that sound mind and renewable mind, obviously they're going to see solar panels on the roof. It's going to attract that type of person as well. It's just easier to rent out. And if I can give you one of the old adage of, you know, if you have a unit to rent and your neighbor has a unit to rent and yours has solar panels on it and it's almost the same price, you're probably going to rent yours faster, right? So there's that. Let's see, we also have the 10% cap rate. Now, I don't know if a lot of people are going to know what this is, so I'll explain it to you guys. Now, anybody that has rental property, you've probably thought, okay, well, after I get a few pieces, I'll go to the commercial side. So in commercial real estate, they use what's called a capitalization rate for what the overall projected cost, the actual sale of the building could be. And I'll break that down for you. And the reason I'm talking about it in this video is because people that buy both commercial and residential, it's hard to, once you start using that model, it's hard to come off it because it just makes a lot of sense. And it looks something like this. If you have 3 units and each one is getting $1,000 a month and you have 3 units, that's $3,000 a month times 12 for 12 months. is $36,000 a year. Okay? If you had a 10% cap rate on that, that would tell you commercially, now 5 units and above, that that building is worth $360,000. Okay? Now, like I said, this isn't usually the case for residential, but when you get to the 4-unit range, it oftentimes is the case, right? It's not supposed to be, but it is, right? So if you can get an extra $150, $200 each unit for 4 units times 10%, the value of your house, okay? Let's say you put in a 12K. Let's say it cost you $40,000, okay? But if you can get an extra $200 a unit for 4 units, that's $800 a month. Times 12 is $9,600. Excuse me, annually. Times 10 is $96,000. Well, then that's $56,000 that the house has gone up in value on return on investment. You spend $40 for the system, house value's gone up $96,000. Not a bad payday, right? It's a pretty good investment. Better than any kitchen you'll ever do. All right, and then the other one is the appreciation value. Obviously, this is a given. Now, if you don't use the cap rate like we just discussed, and you only use the appreciation value, as long as you buy it right, you can sell it right. Which, if you're in real estate, you know that still, you know that whole process anyway. But excuse me, the point here is, if you're not getting bilked, if you're not getting overcharged by some solar company that's just outrageously expensive, and you're paying a fair market price, and chances are you've gotten a few quotes from Energy Sage or anything else, then what happens, excuse me, is you'll get a couple different quotes. They'll all should be kind of within the same few dollars, but the price of the system should be less than what your house value will go up. And this is true for single families, even more so for the multifamily market. So that's really all I have today. I want to keep it short. I understand some of these videos run real long. So this is, again, this is for multifamilies, main focus on the residential side. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below or email us and get a hold of us through any of our social media avenues. Thanks for watching.